What's the word, Harrisburg? My name is Matt Maisel, and our guest right now is one of my favorite guests, not just because she's a good friend of mine, but because anytime I'm looking for something to do with my wife around town, she always has the best ideas, and she's here to help us out right now. Sara Bozich, thank you so much again for joining us in studio. Good to see you.
Yes, good to see you too. Thank you for having me on again.
Yeah, there's so much going on. I feel like once we hit springtime in the city, I know it's February, but it feels like spring this week. That's for sure. We really start to amp up with a lot of fun activities. What is your favorite part about springtime in the city?
Oh, oh, I think it's that I've always loved spring. That whole idea of the rebirth, the renewal, the buds on the trees, and all. I mean, all of the nature part of it. And winter even this year has already been, I think, pretty fun because it's been so mild. We've seen a ton more events happening. My favorite springtime thing in the city, I mean, it just has to be being along the riverfront. I think it's great to see more people out and about with their dogs and, inline skating and whatever. I think biking, it's great to see people out.
How's the family doing? I mean, we've seen each other. It's been a while since we've seen each other, but we've spoken. We both have young kids.
Yes.
Winter can be crazy at times. How's everyone doing?
Everyone is doing pretty well now. If you asked me a week ago, it was a different
Right.
story.
Been there.
The 2 week off and on stomach bugs, not fun for anyone at all. And then I know, and like you, we just moved pretty recently.
Oh, right.
And so there's all of that chaos, but we're a little ahead of you in that. So we're starting to be a little bit more settled.
We've been in our place now. It'll be by the time this airs, the first time, it'll be 3 weeks, which is great. But, obviously, people will watch this. It's evergreen, whatnot. We're going to be talking about events taking place weeks away, but it for the first time in a while, because there's that section of time right before you move out where you don't feel like you're living in
Anywhere.
your home.
Yeah.
you are living in a house. You have a roof over your head, but it doesn't feel like home anymore because things are off the walls. Everything's packed up into a box. I feel like now, for the first time in at least a month, probably a month and a half, it feels like home. And what that does to put your mind at ease over so many different things, because January was, it was not a fun month in the city.
Yeah.
Because of a lot of different things going on. When you mix what's going on in your personal life with this massive life change, and you've got 2 kids, and you're trying to make sure that they're comfortable. And I'm not a good packer mover. My wife is the boss when it comes to that stuff, and I'm just trying to keep up with her. And you've coupled that with some, for lack of a better term, crises taking place in the city that I'm having to deal with. It just made for a tenuous January. So now that we're into February, pretty much through February, it feels a lot better, and there's a lot more things to look forward to, and a lot of fun things to look forward to throughout the city, whether it's downtown, in Midtown. You've got Fire and Ice coming up, or Ice and Fire, I should say, and it just feels like, and you've got temperatures in the 70s, because why
Who knows?
not?
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels. You mentioned the rebirth, the whole idea of spring. It feels like a lot of good things are around the corner.
I think so too. I think it feels really positive. I think that the general vibe I get from people is positive, and they're excited about things to do and what's happening in their lives, and the potential that there is. I think now, things look a lot different than they did obviously a year ago, et cetera. And it's funny, to talk about not feeling like it's home.
Mm-hmm.
We moved right before Christmas. I don't recommend moving near the holidays. Just gonna put that out there. Hot tip. I told someone, it was even still during Christmas, I felt like I was staying there. I was like staying at this person's house that wasn't yet mine.
Yeah.
But finally now, we're there about 3 months now. I can at least say it's starting to feel like home when I get there, and not just like this nice place that that we're staying at for the time being, like an Airbnb. It feels like it's starting to feel more like ours. And similarly, coupled with a lot of a really exciting year of events for me personally, professionally, and everything else I'm seeing around the city is great.
What I mean, you've really I guess brand, for lack of a better term, has really taken off. I mean, I feel like in the last couple years, it's kind of skyrocketed locally. No, I mean seriously. I mean, people. You on your web page, you call yourself the OG influencer.
Yes.
Right? I know you don't like the term influencer, but it's the you have your pulse on the social scene here in Harrisburg. I feel like better than anyone else. Where did that for you? Where did that passion come from to kind of have that social mindset of coming up with ideas and letting people know, wanting people to be involved with what's going on in the city?
Well, it started a really long time ago, actually. My first job out of college was working at a local city and regional magazine. So I immediately was like thrust into this very community-oriented, like what is happening. And it was at a time when Harrisburg's downtown was experiencing what I like to call its first renaissance. And so people were excited about what there was to do, and I got to be like sort of on the front lines of some of that as we were covering it for the magazine. And really it sort of just went on from there. Although I did find a old college or high school newspaper where I did a review of an underage club. So apparently I had been doing this even long before I realized it was a passion.
We need to see this.
I still have it, of course.
Was it the old Odyssey?
No, I'm too old for that. No, it was. I'm not gonna remember what it was called. It was in York.
Oh, okay.
And then I think the one that was at Wanda's briefly. I'm a little bit older.
Okay. I remember being 16 and going to. I don't remember where exactly it was, but it's by where
It was at Twin Ponds.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I worked there. Ron Kimianko ran Odyssey.
Yes.
And so I used to go there, and I don't
know.
The
the original Odyssey.
Help take money or something.
Whew.
Yeah, the original.
That was yeah, right. Not the yeah. We don't have to.
I was really surprised he reused a name, but
right. It has. And then you have my best friend's mom who had an Odyssey minivan, and that just became its own thing. But
so in Harrisburg. I grew up in Lewisberry. And I moved into Midtown right after college, and it was not what you know of Midtown now. Like there was not like a ton of cool stuff happening everywhere, and
that's really just been the last 10 years or so.
Right, and so this was longer ago than that. But I was hanging out downtown and doing stuff, and I started. I don't remember which came first, the blog or a column. But what I found now is you talk about people who know my brand now. I realized at some point, some people don't realize that I started really working for these local publications, and that I had a nightlife column in Penn Live, or it was actually then just the Patriot
Just the
News,
Patriot, right.
For 13 years. So that's sort of where all that started. And then I really loved getting to know local businesses and what they had to do and sharing that with other people. And there really is, you still hear it now, but it was worse then. There's nothing to do here. And there is. You just have to sometimes be willing to look for it.
Or go to sarabozich.com
Exactly.
and there you go.
Visit my website.
And if you go to the website right now, one of the things you'll see is a lot of upcoming concert related stuff. Harrisburg has become, thanks to Harrisburg University, because there's a lot of great local venues, and Harrisburg is becoming this hotspot for whether it's emerging artists or artists who may not necessarily get the top 40 run, but if you listen to alternative channels or things like that, well-known national recording artists. And I know coming up this weekend on February 25th, you have Elle King, who's well-known. So give me an idea, give me a rundown of some of the acts that are scheduled to come into Harrisburg. And I know you have an announcement of the summer series, which has
Yes.
become very popular in recent years as well.
Yeah, so I started working with Harrisburg University Presents a few months ago, and I'm handling a lot of their marketing. Frank Schofield, who's their head of live entertainment, has got an amazing lineup for the entire year. So as you mentioned, we have El King on Saturday, February 25th. Then the following week on Friday, March 3rd, we have this band called Certainly So. You've probably never heard of them. They are an alt indie band. They are just getting their start, and they are part of something called the Emerging Artist Series that we're working on in a partnership with their agency, Wasserman Entertainment, Rock Lidditz, and Harrisburg University, of course. And so they're actually getting this opportunity to record it in Lidditz at Rock Lidditz at this state-of-the-art rehearsal studio. And
Massive, complex.
Yes, amazing place. And they are getting to learn like what it's like to be on the road. And the Harrisburg University team is going to be capturing this on video, and we're actually creating a documentary-style episode to do this. And the whole thing sort of caps with the show at XL Live on Friday, March 3rd. Tickets are only $10, so it's a really great time to like see a show or see a band before they become big.
That's really, really cool.
Yes. And then also in March, March 11th, we have Dawes. They're coming back. Jaden, which might be more targeted towards the younger folks. I did not know Jaden, but it's interesting.
I'm not familiar with Jaden either,
Yes.
but definitely interested in hearing.
Alt J is in March as well, and that one's also sold out. We also have coming up Water Woods, Houndmouth, Joywave, Lucius. April's going to be packed. We have a lot of really, really great artists coming
That's
out.
really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And then you've got the summer concert series down in Riverfront Park, which, I mean, last year the Roots were in. Jason Isbell, correct, was in recently, or
Not last year,
okay.
I don't think.
So but
Yeah. But he has been, yes. in the
okay,
past.
right. So this is a series which, I mean, you just pack Riverfront Park, and it's great, the outdoor concert venue, and you just came out with the news about this year's summer series.
Yes, the 2023 Summer Concert Series was just announced moments ago, which is really exciting. So Jason Isbell and the 400 unit is our first announcement. They'll be playing July 26th. That will kick off the series for the summer. And then in August, we'll have The Head and the Heart on August 26th. And we have about 4 to 6 more announcements coming up too.
Awesome. We cannot wait for those. And then right around the corner, we have one of the city's big events, which is Ice and Fire, which I was talking to the special events coordinator, and I have to give Courtney Rank Cameron a shout out, who she manages all the special events that take place in the city, whether it's Ice and Fire, Arts Fest, Capona, you name it. Her team does such an incredible job. And for something like Ice and Fire, you get 15,000 people coming into downtown. And what that can do to help local businesses is immense. And I know a lot of people will come into the area, especially the Soma area, and just try to enjoy, especially if the weather's nice. You keep your fingers crossed. You can't control the weather, but you keep your fingers crossed that it's a nice weekend. I know there's
Not
some
too nice. You don't want those sculptures to melt.
Well, listen, 70 degrees is a little excessive, but you want it to be sunny.
Yes.
You want to give people a reason to come down.
We don't want people to be shivering in the streets.
Exactly. Neither that. It's that sweet spot.
Right.
So do you try to take advantage of that extra crowd that comes in and get people to kind of partake in certain events that are happening that weekend?
This year for sure. In fact, I'm embarrassed to admit I've never attended the Ice and Fire Festival before, but I also want to give a shout out to Courtney, because that is once I read into it, it's an incredible event. There is so much going on that day. That weekend, really, there's more than one day.
So
to it,
you've got the for the first time ever, we're doing a chili cook-off at the Broad Street Market on Friday the 3rd. So there's a lot going on Friday the 3rd.
Chili, then we want you to see Certainly So at XL.
Exactly. Start at the Broad Street Market,
Right.
chili cook-off, and one of the cool things, I'm just going to use this time to plug Ice and Fire, right?
Right. Let's do
So chili cook-off presented by Capital Blue Cross, because got to get the sponsors in there, make them happy. This is the first time they're doing it, and the 15 or some odd participants are all Broad Street Market vendors.
That's awesome.
So it's just the vendors that are participating in the chili cook-off. There's going to be a panel of celebrity judges, including Mayor Williams, and tickets to watch and, more importantly, sample the chili are available. $10 for adults, $5 for kids. It starts at 5:30 at the Broad Street Market on Friday, March 3rd. Then you've Ice and Fire, which starts at 11 a.m. on Saturday. The 4th goes all the way till 8 p.m. I can rattle off 25 minutes. In fact, after I'm done here, I'm running over to iHeart to do a 30-minute taping with them, just talking
Well,
about.
let me fill you in on what's happening in Soma, so you
Yeah.
can pass that word on for me.
Yeah, I will.
So I'm going to start with Strawberry Square. They have the Harrisburg Flea. I'm sure
Yes.
have you shopped the Flea? It is absolutely one of my favorite things to go to in the city. I've just discovered so many wonderful craft vendors there. So that's going on. I think their hours are 10 to 4 regardless because it's the first Saturday, but they're open. And then down on the block of Soma, so the South 3rd Street between Market and Chestnut Streets, Sip at Soma will be open. We will have an ice sculpture outside. I believe it is a wine glass. So come
Fitting.
yes. And so therefore I booked Castle Rig Wine Shop will be there. They carry Seven Mountains wine cellars wine. They've done a lot of events for me and it's a really good time. And then I also Chef Alan from Cork and Fork will be doing some kind of walking street food. We're still workshopping what that menu is going to look like,
Very
but we
cool.
will have food down there. And then I have DJ Kins from 5 to 8 playing some deep house chill tracks. So it'd be a cool place to like even finish your night, come down, have a snack, have a glass of wine, and listen to some good music.
I mean, see that you were talking earlier about, oh, there's nothing to do. I mean,
Right.
that's like the popular thing. Like, no, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like
I might add a
just that
brewery.
that weekend alone is going to be so packed.
I know, and it's a great way if you haven't been to the city in a while to discover a whole bunch of new to you businesses or visit someone you haven't seen in a long time. I know that Boneshire will be open too. I think they usually do a specialty beer. I know that Castle Rig they do have Ice and Fire themed wines, and I believe
Nice.
if it is chilly, there'll be a mulled wine available too.
So, I mean, you mentioned coming downtown and experiencing the businesses. It's one of the reasons why Ice and Fire this year is going back onto 2nd Street instead of Riverfront Park and that's basically if you can go back to 2020. I know you haven't experienced Ice and Fire before, but basically pre-COVID, the couple that we did pre-COVID were all centered on 2nd Street. And the idea is to promote the businesses that are on 2nd which are mostly between like Pine and Walnut or Market. And you've got the stage that's going to be there with local bands and fire dancers and basically just go in and out of all the restaurants and shops that are down there. There's going to be street vendors. There's going to be an artist's market inside City Hall that's going to be
fun.
open during the day. So all this is taking place. You've got ice sculptures lining the street. There's also going to be ice sculptures at Italian Lake, City Island, Reservoir Park, places in Midtown as well. So there's going to be
And
ice
Soma.
sculptures, and so there's going to be ice sculptures all over the place. I
Yes.
think even Shipoke has a
Yeah, I
few
think so too.
ice
I think
sculptures
they were
as
on that
well.
list.
So it really is an opportunity, and free shuttles. There's going to be a free shuttle between City Island, the bus depot at 2nd and Market, and the Broad Street Market, and that's going to be running every half hour on a loop.
And what are the best things for kids during Ice and Fire?
There is going to be an ice slide. So the ice slide is going to be right around 2nd and Locust. So like in the Arugas area.
Okay.
There is a kid zone that's going to have like arts and crafts and other things like that. Balloons, free face painting. And what kid doesn't enjoy a food truck?
Right.
The food trucks this year are going to be in front of the courthouse. So basically set up between, there's probably 15 or some odd food trucks that are going to be set up between Front and 2nd Street. So there's a lot to do. I mean, for mom and dad and for the family, You start the family, at the ice slide. You take a look at the fire dancers. That's at 4:30 and 7:30. But you want to catch the early one so that you can finish the night over at Soma,
Exactly. Yeah.
and take part in everything that's going on there. Because mom and dad, after walking around with the kids all day, are going to need a drink or two.
Yeah, they are. It's true.
For you in particular, I want to end on this, and I'm kind of putting you on the spot here because
Okay.
one of the things that I started this by talking about this, and I want to end on this. Your ability to kind of brainstorm ideas. I mean, we're taping this after Valentine's Day, but you had a lot of great Valentine's Day ideas, and it made me think, like, what are your favorite, on the spot right now, date night ideas for people in the Harrisburg area? It doesn't necessarily have to be in the city, but if you're looking in the Harrisburg area, what are your top 3? I won't make you do a top 5. But
I am surprisingly prepared for this. And I will say, I have not done any of these exactly as they are, but
they're on your list.
these are things that I think are so easy to pair together in the city. And that is something like going to an opening reception at an art museum or art gallery, like the Art Association of Harrisburg, and then grabbing dinner somewhere nearby. Perhaps you go to Baco and you have a Negroni and some pizzas. I think another great one is, of course, making use of Midtown Cinema. And of course, with 0 Day right there, that has built-in food as well. Or you could do more of a matinee. Maybe you hit the Broad Street Market for lunch on a Saturday and then go see a movie. You could certainly just peruse the stacks at Midtown Scholar Bookstore and have a coffee, or go next door and have a little lunch at Yellowbird. It's so easy to me to put together the culture and the food in the city of Harrisburg. While I would love to see more restaurants, especially downtown, I think that, again, if you're looking, the city is rich with them.
That's awesome. And also, I mean, I could think of at least 2 instances where businesses within the city, restaurants within the city, or yeah, you could call both restaurants, that have been so successful in the city, they're now branching out outside the city, between 0 Day, which is about to open a spot in Susquehanna Township, a new brew house there, and Alvaro's on Green and Peffer.
And JB Love Drafts.
Yes.
Talk about expansion.
Didn't even think about.
Justin's killing it,
goodness.
right? You know?
My goodness.
And
yeah.
I neglected to mention this. How about if you go get dinner and then go to see a show at XL Live? Here we go.
There you go.
For whatever you're in the mood for.
Where can people go to get more information on the shows that are coming up?
HUpresents.live for all Harrisburg University Presents shows. For things to do on the weekend or whenever, sarabozich.com.
Sara, thank you so much.
Thank you,
This
Matt.
is great. We will not go months
Yeah.
between our next visits because I know there's so much going on.
Well, we've now
this
moved.
summer.
We've had the holidays.
Yes,
Well,
right.
Our schedules.
Our lives have kind of calmed
Yes.
down a little bit, and I know there's going to be more dates coming up on the summer
Yes.
series, which we're going to want you back in to talk about that. So, Sara, thank you so much. That is the word, Harrisburg. We hope to see you downtown, midtown, all around Soma, no matter what, over the next few weeks because there is a lot going on. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good one.